Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Justin and this is Dad Discovers, where I'm learning about the world through YouTube. Today we're looking at a video called How Canadians Celebrate Christmas. This is by the channel Make That Change. These two ladies are fantastic. I've watched several of their videos now, and they have some really good videos. I will put the link to this video in the description in case you want to go check them out, if by chance you haven't seen them. But let's go ahead and jump in and see how you guys celebrate Christmas in Canada.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. December is here and it means that Christmas holidays are just around the corner. So let's talk about how Canadians celebrate their most beloved holiday.
In this video, we're going to talk about everything that makes this holiday so joyful. Or should I say merry? Ho ho ho. We'll talk about all these funky rituals of Christmas, the questionable food choices, as well as the little annoyances that the Christmas brings to us.
First, let's get terminology right. So when we talk about winter holidays or Christmas holidays, we're likely referring to December 25th and oftentimes the New Year celebrations along with it. December 25th and 26th are statutory holidays, days off. It's not uncommon for
For us, it's just the 25th.
majority of Canadians to take the time between Christmas and New Year's off. And some Canadians
Now, a lot of companies will give you the day before or the day after off, but it's not very common to get both Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas off. Some of the like really good jobs, well, you'll get it. Or if you work for the government, you'll get it. But typically, you're gonna work one of them.
companies are even forcing workers into taking the time off and closing their offices until the beginning of January.
So where does this holiday come from? Like many other holidays on this planet, Christmas has a religious significance. It marks the day that Jesus, the spiritual leader of Catholics, was born.
Let's see your traditions.
Anyways, regardless of your religion or lack of thereof, Christmas has been one of the most commercialized holidays and has pretty much taken over the entire world. It has its own set of traditions like
I feel like all holidays, like religious holidays, have been very commercialized. Very commercialized.
exchanging gifts, decorating Christmas trees, attending the midnight mass, attending the Christmas market, having and sharing meals with friends and family, and most importantly, waiting for the Santa Claus to bring the gifts.
So when talking about Christmas, we have to start with everyone's favorite, food. First off, you can build technically an entire restaurant menu on just Christmas food. Christmas dinner is probably the most central and sacred family get-together for Canadians. Families typically get together on the Christmas Eve to spend time with their
I would say for us, Christmas dinner is probably about as big as our Thanksgiving dinner. They're both pretty comparable. And it's kind of weird because it's kind of crazy because they're only, a month apart.
families and loved ones. It's not pretty much of a party holiday, not for the most part, but rather a very tame and tight-knit get-together. If a Canadian ever invites you for their Christmas dinner, that actually is a sign that you're special to them. That is not to be taken lightly. When guests gather for the Christmas dinner, it's common to bring some food for the table or cook together. So when you come for the Canadian Christmas dinner, you will eat the most traditional Christmas meals like roast turkey, seasonal vegetables, mashed potatoes, meat pies, gravy.
Well, meat pie. I've never seen anything like that.
Lots of it. Mostly pretty much
It looked like the meat pie she showed. It looked like almost like an apple pie, but with a bunch of ground beef is what it looked like in it. So that's interesting.
very warm and hearty food. And since Canada is such a mishmash of different cultures, depending on which family you're celebrating with, French or French-Canadian, British or Ukrainian, there will be a special flavor to your Christmas dinner table. If there is any special dishes that we've missed, let us know in the comments below. If you want to have a drink,
I feel like that's probably the same here, depending on what culture you've come from. Like you might have something a little different, or maybe something completely different?
You can have some eggnog, a mix of
I love some eggnog.
cream and eggs, which is considered a holiday drink. If you're not into eggy, gooey things, mulled wine is
I'm gonna take it she does not like eggnog.
another wonderful alternative. It's also known as spiced wine. It's an alcoholic drink, usually made with red wine, along with various spices like cinnamon, cardamom, and sometimes fruits, almost like warm Christmas sangria. Coffee shops have also
Nice.
coined themselves on the market of Christmas business and offer coffees with flavors traditionally associated with Christmas, like burnt caramel, peppermint, and chestnut.
Burnt caramel does not sound appetizing. I like caramel, but burnt caramel does not sound appetizing.
Christmas dinner also has desserts like plum pudding, a fruit cake, and ton of cookies. Not just any cookies, but the cute gingerbread man-like cookies. Families would actually often get together before Christmas for a cookie
gingerbread
making
man.
session together, where you can bake cookies, socialize, and
Wow, that's a mountain of gingerbread cookies.
mess around. Isn't that a wonderful tradition? Gingerbread cookies is actually one of the oldest symbols of Christmas, dating back to 1500s. In the 17th century,
I knew it's been around for a while. I didn't know it was that long.
there were many superstitions about gingerbread. Witches supposedly made gingerbread figures, ate them, and thereby caused the death of their enemies. As a result, there was a period of time when baking
That's kind of a dark twist on a gingerbread man.
and eating modeled cookies was illegal. And then, thanks to Queen Victoria, gingerbread men became holiday icons in the 19th century. The Queen popularized German traditions from her husband's homeland, along with evergreen trees decorated with sweets and cookies. Nowadays, these gingerbread cookies actually make a great small Christmas gift. So let's talk about gifts and decorations more.
Gifting is an important part of Christmas.
I assume you guys have Black Friday in Canada. For us, Black Friday has gotten terrible over the last number of years. Well, one, it's not like it was back in the 90s for sure. Like, I haven't seen anybody, how back in the day they used to show on the news where people would be like camping out in front of Best Buy and there'd be fights and people robbing people as they came out the store, and just people would get trampeded, and like it was crazy. But now I don't see that at all. And now it seems like the stores don't even have good deals anymore. It seems like they artificially inflate the price and then lower it back to normal and talking about it's on sale.
Holidays, and that's
But I
what
don't
the
know if you guys
entire
have Black
Christmas
Friday.
industry is built on. Holiday
I
gift
assume you do,
shopping.
though.
Many most responsible citizens start their Christmas shopping late November or early December. This spree informally starts with the Black Friday event,
Oh.
the big shopping event that follows the American Thanksgiving Day. That's when almost all
So it's even the same Friday. Okay. Okay.
retailers provide huge discounts of up to 80% on all sorts of items, from books and electronics to cars, flights, and so on. If they're
Yeah, I feel like that's the way it used to be here. But like I said, now I feel like the sales are terrible. Or like I said, they artificially heighten the price just to lower it back a little bit and call it a deal. But now it seems like most Black Friday sales are like Amazon.
is a good time to go shopping for everything you've been wanting to buy, it's this holiday period. That's the hot tip number 1 for you here. If you want to make any significant purchase, and when we say significant, it's $100 or more, always wait till December or November. You will save a couple of hundred of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. But be aware that some sellers take advantage of holiday sales and they artificially inflate original prices to make it look like the normal price.
Well, it's good to know that it's not just here in America that this happens. But it's sad that it happens anywhere.
Is actually discounted. So, presenting gifts is another important Christmas tradition. Gift giving happens on the Christmas Eve, but opening of the gifts usually happens past midnight or on the morning of Christmas, December 25th.
So you guys exchange gifts Christmas Eve or the night of Christmas Eve. Interesting. Because yeah, here we've always done it. Or like the majority is Christmas morning. I remember as a child, Christmas Eve, you're laying in bed, you can't sleep because you're so excited for the next morning, and then you finally fall asleep and you wake up, even though you're a child. And I remember we would sleep late, typical days, but on Christmas, we were up at like 5:30 in the morning, like ready to get it started. And you go down, you see all the trees around all the gifts around the tree. You run back up, wake the parents up, and then you go down and kind of get the morning started with opening gifts first. So that's interesting.
However, if you want to do the Christmas right, you've got to write a letter to Santa Claus, telling him about your wonderful deeds throughout the year and asking him for a gift. You then go to bed on the Christmas Eve, and by the time you wake up in the morning, the Santa Claus will have delivered the gifts you've asked him for.
So do you put the letter to Santa under the pillow and you write it on Christmas Eve? Yeah, that's way different from how I've ever seen it. Here kids will write it a month or so in advance, and then they drop it in the mailbox and send it to the North Pole through the post office.
Who is the Santa Claus? It's an old bearded man that lives somewhere cold and far and delivers gifts to the good girls and boys. If you've been a bad boy or a girl this year, you'll receive a lump of coal. A lump of coal in a stocking is the universal sign for a child being punished. If you ask me, writing a letter to Santa Claus is the way to do it, because Christmas time is filled with joys and miracles, and honestly is the only holiday that really preserved this magic and warmth even to this day.
Secret Santa.
My favorite type of Santa is actually Secret Santa. It's a game played by adults, and there are multiple variations of it, but the basic premise of it is for each guest to buy a gift. Usually you define the budget of the gift together to make sure that all gifts have the similar value. Everyone
Right.
packs their gifts up and leaves under the Christmas tree. The goal is not to know what's the gift and who's it from. That way, everyone gets a wonderful surprise for Christmas. By the way, did you know that
Yeah, Secret Santa here is typically done like in the workplace or with extended family, like, not who's in your household, but like maybe brothers and sisters or cousins, aunts and uncles.
Canada is actually a proud home of Santa Claus, although something tells us that some of the Finnish viewers might disagree on that one. Canada is also home to the world's oldest and largest Santa Claus parade that happens in Toronto every year. Talking about Santa Claus parade, there are many more events happening associated with Christmas celebrations. This is what everyone is looking for every year. Apart from Christmas dinner, there are a lot of other things to look for during this period. Christmas market is a street market that runs during the entire month of December that's dedicated to selling all sorts of different holiday things, decorations, gifts, foods, and so on. Christmas markets are always filled with happy people, joyful music, and the holiday spirit. Santa Parade usually happens in big cities like Montreal.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been to a Christmas market. Now, we have some stores that are like Christmas year round. I know down near Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, there's a store that's all Christmas everything. And they're open year round, and it's just Christmas stuff, which it's kind of cool. And for the parade, do you guys call it Santa Parade? Because we typically just call it a Christmas parade. And then Santa's usually on a fire truck or some big float at the end of the parade.
Or Toronto, and sometimes in smaller cities as well at a smaller scale. But don't miss it, it happens very early in the holiday season, usually around November 20th. Light festivals are also very common. Niagara Light Festival, for instance, entails
nice.
lighting up the entire waterfall with Christmassy holiday lights. This year, Toronto Light Festival happens in Distillery District, and it exhibits local light artists and artwork to warm our hearts, inspire us, and put a smile on our faces. So make sure to check it out.
It's not Christmas without the Christmas movies.
Who
least that's
doesn't
what my
love
mom
a
would say.
happy romantic holiday movie? There is no chance of getting away from the holiday Christmas tunes, like Mariah Carey's song All I Want for Christmas Is You. You will hear it playing out of every speaker in the city, along with some other classical Christmas tunes like Jingle Bells, Silent Night, and so on. There are also many movies made.
I remember when I was like 16, 17, I worked in a grocery store, and Christmas time they played, I felt like, you know how they play the music over the speakers, I felt like they played like the same 5 Christmas songs on repeat over and over and over. And it was cool, like in the, when the season first came and the music's different and it's Christmassy and it puts you in the spirit. But then after you work there for, 8 to 10 hour days, by the end of your shift, you've heard each song, 500 times, and you were just ready to get out of there.
Dedicated to the magical miracle time of Christmas, so it is a tradition to re-watch those during the holiday period. Or, if you're tired of the old classics, there are dozens of new Christmas movies that come out every year, so you will never have.
You get on like Netflix now, and there's like a whole section of Christmas movies. Like, it's pretty crazy, because remember when I was younger, there was, a handful of them, and we watched the same ones every year. Specifically I think it's called A Christmas Story, you'll shoot your eye out kid. Even now, my mom watches that every year on Christmas.
A lack of Christmas miracles on the screen. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Let me know in the comments below. For me personally, I think it's Harry Potter. How did it become a Christmas movie? I have no idea. It's probably the magical vibes and all that.
The most important part of every Christmas is the Christmas tree worldwide. It signifies life, longevity, light in the darkest time, and magical powers during the deepest winter.
For me, this is how you know Christmas season has kicked off, once the tree goes up. Which depends on when you put your tree up. Because I know some people that put their tree up super early, and then I know some people that put their tree up like 2 days before Christmas.
Germany typically gets the credit with starting the Christmas tree tradition as we know it, and it started in the 16th century. But long before Christmas became a thing, plants and trees that remained green all year had a special meaning for people in the winter. Ancient peoples hung evergreen plants over doors and windows. And in many countries, it was believed that evergreens would keep away witches, ghosts, evil spirits, and illness. Most families in Canada will set up a Christmas tree during the month of December at home and decorate it with various ornaments, baubles, garlands, tinsel, and candy canes. An angel or a star are placed on top of the tree, and gifts are put under the tree. You can typically get a real fir or pine tree in many places in Canada, like grocery stores or special Christmas tree markets that are set up just to sell the trees. And if
you go to those little Christmas tree markets where they're not the ones where you cut them down yourself, but like where they're already pre-cut. Here they pop up these big like tent things, and they'll be filled with trees. But over the last maybe 10 years, maybe not quite that long, they have gotten expensive. Because my wife and I were at some just a couple years ago, and for a small tree, it was like $80. And for if you wanted a big, deep, big full tree, it could be a couple $100 for a tree that you're only going to use for about a month.
all into sustainability, you can purchase a plastic tree from Amazon, for instance. It's that kind that you can stow away every winter and reuse it all over again.
And that's it.
Now, when I was a child, I was allergic to like grass and trees. So I remember my parents would put up a real tree before they found out that I was allergic to it. And it would make me so sick. Not like ill, but just like, clogged up, congested, sneezing constantly for the entire month. And then finally, once I got tested and all that, and they determined that that's what I was allergic to, we switched to a fake tree for a long time. But now I think I've outgrown that, because now it doesn't bother me, and we actually have a real tree now.
Guys, thank you for watching and happy holidays!
Ho, ho,
Thank you.
ho. And if you really enjoyed this video and find it informative or useful, make sure to
did.
tap that like button, or
I definitely will. And like I said, I will put their link in the description so you guys can check them out. But yeah, is everything that they've said in this, is that accurate? I know, region by region and family by family, everybody does stuff a little different. I would assume that's everywhere in the world. But is there something that you do that was not mentioned in this video? If so, I'd definitely like to talk about it in the comments below, because that's where the real learning happens. The videos are great, but like I've been saying in some of the comments as replies to people, when I'm talking to you guys, like that's when I'm really learning stuff. So I really enjoy talking to you guys in the comments. But thank you for watching it with me. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope to see you in the next one.